Somehow it always happens that when I review a rum from Brazil, it always ends up being a solo video. No sparring partners today, just this. More on that in a bit. But first of all, let's get some facts, some factoids, and tasting notes on the table. This is a rum from Epris distillery, I believe. That's what everyone else on YouTube is saying, Epris, which is a distillery I know very, very little about. Apparently, it's on the outskirts of São Paulo. And they make a whole range of different styles, apparently. So a little bit like Savannah in Reunion in that respect. This one, bottled by Single Cask Nation, definitely better known for the Scotches, but they do other stuff. Aged 10 years in a first fill bourbon barrel, cask number 113, distilled May 2011, bottled September 21. It is 260 bottles, 52.6 alcohol by volume. Now, that's about all I know about this. They use column stills, but I don't know whether the base of this is molasses or cane syrup or cane juice. I'm guessing cane juice, maybe cane syrup, based on how this behaves, but I don't really know. All right, let's see, what else can I say? Oh. Very importantly, this was distilled and matured also in Brazil. So this did not go to a warehouse at Shear for its 10-year aging. This was aging, way down there in South America. All right, let's get some notes. Oh, I can smell it from here. Okay, here we go. Oof. So it's both very dense and very fresh at the same time, which is unusual combination, but it kind of works for this. Lots of little things going on here. So bananas foster, but also there's a fennel thing. I've been trying to nail it down, but it's not fennel itself. It's almost more like a fennel liqueur, if that makes sense. I haven't had time to Google this. I'm sure someone out there is making a fennel liqueur because there's so many anise-based ones out there. I just don't know. Someone is making a fennel digestif or something. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm getting. There's a little bit of vanilla latte thing going on here, some white chocolate. You're getting a little bit of that column still industrial note. It's not rubbery here. It's more like freshly polished shoes. It's like freshly polished leather shoes. A little bit floral too, but it's not. It's like old school cologne more so than flowers. Some little lime zest, some basil in there. Definitely some cinnamon. Some pepperiness as well, just straight up white pepper. In some ways, this is almost brandy-like, or rather, it smells like some kind of old European digestif is what I'm getting here. I'm really enjoying this. It's unusual. It's I don't quite know what. So if it is cane juice based, this is behaving so much differently than bourbon matured agricole style rums that I can think of. From Martinique, that kind of thing. It just has its own personality. I'm really enjoying this. Okay, on the palate. On the palate, so it's kind of column still roots make this a little bit thinner than you might have expected from the density of the nose. It's also a little bit more of a kind of by the book bourbony rum, but not in a bad way. This is actually really excellent. What am I getting here? Very honey driven, actually. So it's wildflower honey, but also like some honeydew honey in there. So there's some like heavy sour honey. Bananas Foster again, plus that kind of hint of vanilla. Tons of vanilla, actually. Nice cup of coffee, maybe espresso. Lime zest. Oh, here's a note I don't get to use very often. Sultanas. Sultanas are these very kind of almost syrupy sweet raisins. Ralphie uses this note all the time, and a couple of years ago I did actually seek out some sultanas just to get them in there. Here it's actually showing up. Usually it doesn't. There's also a kind of like rusty metal sort of note here. The leather shoe thing is gone, but yeah, definitely some metallic notes, some field flowers, intermingling with that cologne thing. Ooh, there's even some waxiness here. That's fun. Kleinlish fans will not take anything but Kleinlish, but I feel like if you poured a glass of this for them, they might, kind of shrug and say, it's okay, it's okay. That fennel thing is here in force again, that kind of, earthy licorice note, for lack of a better thing. But again, it's more like fennel liqueur. And lots of spicy stuff. White pepper, cinnamon. Oh, and some Angostura bitters on the back end. Really, really, really fun, interesting rum. Well, let's give this a little bit of water. We'll come back to it. One squirt. I'm not going to do 5. I think 4 should be sufficient for 53% alcohol. Yeah, let's leave that. Okay. So I bought this on the Binny's end of bin rack at a substantial discount. And even as I was carrying it to the register, I was feeling kind of like, am I going to regret this? Is this just going to be like, is this going to be direct? What convinced me to finally, make the march up there was, first of all, the sort of matured in Brazil thing. That is rare among independent rum bottlings. Usually they're going through Maine or Sheer, one of those sort of big sourcers. Also, Single Cask Nation. I've never had a bad Single Cask Nation. I've always found their pricing a bit on the optimistic side, but it's definitely something I keep an eye out for when I hit the end of bin rack. And the third thing was I just don't get a lot of rum from Brazil, or anything from Brazil, to try out on this channel. And I just wanted to have that here. It's also why, again, I don't have a sparring partner for this. I thought long and hard about what to put up. The best I could think of was I actually have some rums from Madeira sitting around over there in the back room. But that just felt like it was in bad taste a little bit to have some, Portuguese rums up against the Brazilian one. Footnote. It did occur to me that it was interesting that all the people out there on the internet who like to talk about Spanish-style rums and English-style rums and French-style rums have not yet started talking about Portuguese-style rums. I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe because the categorization they're using comes from what's readily available on American shelves. Maybe they're just afraid of being punched in the face by someone from Brazil. I don't know why they would be more scared of that than, say, someone from, Venezuela or Barbados. Maybe they somehow think, I don't know, of Brazil as some kind of independent entity that has long since broken off from the people who conquered it in the first place. I don't know, but that has not happened. And by the way, this is just your reminder. Please don't talk about rums categorized in those terms. Like, it ignores many historical facts and important details and also, it just kind of makes people's decisions based on what production decisions based on like just what country happened to conquer them, which is it's stupid and offensive on many levels. Let me leave it at that. Okay, I've done enough talking about so basically like rewind a little bit. Brazil makes a ton of sugar and they make a ton of rum. The thing is, most of it does not get out onto the international market. So I feel like at some point it will start. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Brazil. Once they start, bringing in stuff aside from just cachaça, they think that Americans are going to be happy to splash over, rum and sugar. It will be a very serious thing. I don't know what's down there, but I imagine a lot of it is pretty damn good. Anyways, back to the Epris, which is one of the few things to sort of squeeze out past the borders. Now with some water on the nose. Oh, that's fun. So with water, the cologne and sort of floral and herbal notes kind of go crazy on this. The sultana thing I was getting on the palate kind of show up on the nose as well. It's a hair bit sweeter, which is not bad. Yeah, it just kind of smells like this unknown herbal, floral, banana, fennel liqueur thing. And if no one's invented that yet, they really should. On the palate. What is that? There's like a Ricola thing on the finish of this. But I don't know if Ricola, I know Ricola has expanded their brand and has been making many variations. If there were a vanilla Ricola, this is kind of what it would taste like. Changes. The finish is a little bit more grippy now. This is just lots of fun. It's a little bit sweeter, but not in a cloying way at all. This is there's no sugar in this. A little bit more herbal, tons more black pepper, a little bit more coffee too. Oh, I like this. Yeah, it just feels like. I mean, it's definitely a rum. You can see that coming through, but it just also feels like something that old European men would drink right after dinner with like a shot of bad espresso and like a cheap Cuban cigar or something. You know what I'm talking about? It's got that kind of vibe to it. I did give this a lower score, but it's just showing up for me right now. 86 plus. 86 plus, and it gets the plus because I think this is one I would actually drink with water. I think there's enough improvement there. I would recommend adding water to this. Swims very well. Well, thank you for watching. Again, please don't refer to rum styles by colonial powers. Please don't do that. But this is a very lovely Brazilian rum, and I hope we see others of its sort, more of others of its sort in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.